Now with the Nasdaq hitting an all-time high and Nvidia crossing $4 trillion in market cap, can the tech rally continue, or is the trade getting stretched? With us now is T.Rowe Price portfolio manager Tony Wang. Tony, welcome. I actually want to start off referring to that old Gartner hype cycle idea, which I think turns 30 this year. Which comes first for AI? A broad tech lift from measurable productivity driven by AI, or a trough of disillusionment as investors think maybe it's not coming?
Yeah, well, I think that what we saw in the last quarter is actually demand has improved. When you look at the results that Nvidia had sequentially, there was a big increase among the current customers. And even after Nvidia guided out China, it was still really strong. So we actually saw an acceleration in demand, I think, and you saw some post-DeepSeek kind of digestion, perhaps a concern. But here, I think that reasoning models are really taking off. You have inferencing really coming in to play. And then you also have AI video generation autonomy. So I kind of feel like the fundamentals are actually really driving the stock here, and the multiple is actually pretty reasonable. So in terms of hype cycle, I think when you think of hype, you think of high valuations, but I think the fundamentals are quite strong here and improving.
So you don't think, should I extrapolate from that, you don't think that we're in a period of particular hype because the growth associated with some of the leaders in this AI-driven phase is justifying it?
Well, I think you have to take it one by one. I think Nvidia specifically, when you look at the multiple, I mean, it's a sub 35 times multiple and growing, quite significantly. And so you look at what you're getting versus the growth, it's pretty reasonable, I think. And I think when you take a step back, like Nvidia's been like the kind of ultimate S-curve stock since I've been covering for the last 8 years. And you just see continuously new TAMs that emerge, across the board. So I think it is really like supported by the demand that they're seeing, and that's why the stock is kind of going to new all-time highs.
Christina Partsinevelich just used the metaphor arms dealer, the AI arms dealer. And how big do you think the opportunity is on the sovereign AI front, and how sticky is that ecosystem?
So I think the sovereign front makes a lot of sense. When you think about Nvidia, it's really the platform that delivers, I think, intelligence at scale. And in addition, when you think about AI, I think it's going to be the next electricity for the Industrial Revolution. And when you think about sovereign players, like they're not, I think it's actually quite sticky. Like, whereas like the hyperscale players, you can think about, they have so much scale, they can design their own chips. But for Nvidia, the sovereign AI piece is a new TAM that is quite sticky because they want to build like something that is really fungible. They can run a lot of things on, and just get it up and running. And they're not really focused on kind of displacing Nvidia at this point. So I think it's a big opportunity. Makes a lot of sense.
Top holding in your fund, Meta, obviously put in a lot of money out there to hire a lot of talent. Is that a good thing?
I think that the AI opportunity is quite large. So to me, it is the S-curve of probably the next 10 years. And so I understand that Mark wants to invest strongly behind it. It probably is more risk of underinvestment than over, and you can see what it's done to Meta's business. I mean, if you think back a few years ago, Apple kind of turned off the lights on Meta with its privacy changes, and with AI and their use of GPUs and getting better at that aspect, it's actually improved their business a lot, and they have so much room, all their digital properties and where the attention is to improve the reels. So you can think about the reels, if they can show you, 5 relevant reels up from like 2 or 3, like that's massive improvement in their business. And so, I think that's why it's exciting to see what they're doing.